What's going on? All you people here on Sportscaster YouTube, this is Colts Law. It is Friday, and it is 5:04. I'm sorry, I'm just a hair late. I can't help that. Sometimes it just happens. But this is the podcast, Colts Law Podcast, and we're getting ready to go over a few things today. First off, obviously, I want to go over, well, what do you expect, right? I want to go over the Raiders and the Colts, and then we're going to go over the Texans Week 15 matchup in Lucas Oil Stadium. But first, Raiders. I mean, my goodness, what kind of a job? Here's the question, okay? Everybody wants to talk about how, was Derek Carr worth a darn? There was some questionable play calls in that game for the Raiders. And honestly, I love the play calling for the Colts. 3 turnovers. Three turnovers for the Colts defense. That puts them second in the NFL right now in turnover ratio with plus 11 or 10 or something. They're one behind the Pittsburgh Steelers, who, they play in 2 weeks. Now, something that they really did well, and I said, hey, the Colts are going to have to do well to beat the Raiders, is they're going to have to lock down Josh Jacobs, and they're going to have to hold down Darren Waller. Darren Waller, before the Colts game, had a 200-yard game. Darren Waller this past Thursday against the Chargers, 150-yard game. Darren Waller against the Colts, no. He had like 5 catches for like 50 or 80 yards, something like that. An amazing towering interception by Kenny Moore II, in the end zone to really lock him down. The Colts are the best team in the NFL when it comes to covering tight ends because their linebacking core is just that good. It's not just linebackers; it's the corners too and the safeties. They put different guys on them very, very well. The run game, they held Josh Jacobs down too. Held Josh Jacobs down to very few yards. Yards after catch, all that stuff. They did a very, very good job. Now, how much did they? Now, the only issue that I see is Derek Carr had some yardage. Okay, Derek Carr threw the ball pretty well against his zone defense, and I said he probably would. He always does. I mean, he was 31-45, 316 yards, but threw the 2 interceptions. We held Josh Jacobs, 13 carries, 49 yards. That's under 4 yards a carry, guys. Darren Waller, yeah, he had 75 yards on 7 catches. It was the speed receiver out there. Nelson Aguilar really hurt us for 5 catches, 100 yards. That hit us pretty darn hard. But I think overall, defensively, the Colts did pretty darn good. I mean, they still held Las Vegas to 424 yards, which is, considering they gave up 300 and some in the passing game, not bad. Colts offense did great. Phillip Rivers, his usual effective self that he has been for the last 8 weeks, 19 of 28 for 244 yards, 2 touchdowns. Again, no interceptions, no turnovers. Nyheim Hines, 7 carries, 58 yards, right? Nyheim Hines added another 4 catches for 17 yards. But really, I mean, the 2 things that we talk about offensively is the things that we need, right? Jonathan Taylor, 20 carries, 150 yards, 7.5 yards a carry, 2 touchdowns on the ground. And then, of course, he had 2 catches for 15 yards as well. And the Colts obviously like using their tight ends occasionally, not often, but occasionally. Jack had 3 catches. It was nice seeing him back in the action. 3 catches for 44 yards. And some of those catches were very, very big catches. Mo Alley Cox even got a catch in there for 9 yards as well. But the run blocking was just absolutely superb throughout the entire night, man. The entire night. I want to thank Ant Rogers and Nomadic Brian for being here on YouTube. Hey, I've been saying all season, Braden Smith is a beast, needs more love. You know what? Braden Smith is good. He's gotten a lot better, especially against speed rushers off the edge. Last year, he kind of was a little bit of little susceptible to those speed rushers. He held his own against power rushers very well, but speed rushers, he had a little bit of issue. This year, he showed up a lot and done a lot better. Brian said 33-30. Well, it was like that for 3 quarters. You're right. until the Colts started getting turnovers and just blowing them away like that. Braden Smith. Yes, Brian. Braden Smith gets to have fun with J.J. Watt again. And we're going to get into that in a little bit. All right. But something that I noticed is, I mean, my goodness, no sacks in the Indy Raiders game. None by either team. The Colts didn't get to Derek Carr, and the Raiders didn't get to the Colts. Now, the Raiders not getting to the Colts, that's obvious. We expected that. The Raiders have one of the worst pass rushes in the NFL. The Colts have a great offensive line, and Rivers gets rid of the football quickly. But the Raiders got a good offensive line as well, and Derek Carr knows how to get rid of the football quickly against zone defenses. He's a master at zone defense usually. And, the Colts just weren't allowed to hit him. He got rid of the football too quick, and that offensive line, which includes Denzel Good, out there. He was playing right tackle against the Colts yesterday against the Chargers. Denzel Good was playing left guard. So he could play either left guard or right guard, and he's doing a very, very superb job. So I'm very happy for him. And I'm glad that he's stepping out and making a name for himself out there. What's up, Parker Schaefer? Appreciate you being here as well. So I just want to shout out the Comfy Socks also here on Sportscaster. Hey, if you're watching on Sportscaster or on YouTube, please don't forget to smash that like button, and don't forget to also share the stream. If you're listening on the podcast, share it as well. Please help with the either follow me on Sportscaster or on YouTube. Hit the subscribe button. I'm over 700 subscribers now. I want to thank all of you for doing that. And the road to 1K is still on. That is the mark. That's the hardest mark to hit for anyone on YouTube, is hit that first 1,000. Once you hit that 1,000, then you start moving. So if you could go ahead and hit the subscribe and share, I'd be appreciative. Yeah, I know. Aunt Roger says Denzel Good had a great game. Wish he was still here. That BS with the coach never wishes that the BS with the coach never happened. I agree as well. That's something that, but you know what? He's no longer here with us. I think he's with the Giants now. Googe. He is now, after they fired the offensive lineman for the New York Giants, he went over there to the Giants. And apparently, I mean, he's really helped their offensive line out quite a bit. So, it's just a different thing, how you look at stuff. But let's see here. So, in all, the Colts did fine. I mean, as a team, 456 total yards. They gave up 424 total yards. You know what makes me really like the Indianapolis Colts right now as a team? I think they're dangerous all the way around because they could beat you so many different ways. I don't think there's a team right now in the AFC, and the AFC is by far the better conference over the NFC. I mean, there's probably going to be a 10-6 team in the AFC not make the playoffs this year. All right. Most likely. So, but the Colts, they could beat you running the ball. They could beat you passing the ball. They could beat you on special teams, which you've seen on multiple occasions this year. And defensively, earlier in the season when the Indianapolis Colts offense was not doing well, you noticed that, boy, oh boy, that defense can sure come in and step up. And there's times even in the second half of the season, where they just completely and utterly locked down in the second half. And they've been doing that all year. All year they've been doing that. As a matter of fact, in the Raiders game, it wasn't until 1 minute left in the game where the Colts defense they gave up their first touchdown in the past 4 games of the second half. That was the first touchdown they gave up, and it was in garbage time with 1 minute left. and the Colts were winning 44 to like 20. So, yeah, when the game was completely and utterly out of hand. So this is a game, like I said, the Colts really showed up, showed out. I'm very proud of them. Now moving on, however, we have injury reports. Let me look this up real quick. I haven't gotten it up yet. I got a little scratchy throat. I'm gonna have to excuse me here. We have a very healthy, very healthy injury report for this week, which is very nice. We have some questionables coming in. DeForest Buckner is questionable with an ankle injury. Anthony Costanzo still kind of nursing that knee. He's questionable. And Mo Alley Cox is nursing a knee. He's questionable as well. But everybody else is good to go, including punter Rigoberto Sanchez. So I want to make a shout out to you, my guy. I'm glad that you made it back. So I'm very happy. I mean, your backup played well, but he's no Sanchez. He's no Sanchez at all. Rocky Sin has been playing despite penalties. He made PFF Team of the Week, Aunt Roger says. He had to come in the second half, actually, against the Raiders because Xavier Rhodes went out with a bit of an injury himself, right? He went out with a knee injury. Now, he was full practice on Thursday, so not too worried about it. It's all good. DeForest, his ankle, he did not practice on Friday. He did not practice today at all, and he was limited yesterday. So just FYI, let you know that. Other guys keep an eye on Julian Blackmon. He's on the list, but it was just a rest day. Same with T.Y. Hilton. Same with Jack Doyle. All right. Kamoko Toure still dealing with the ankle injury. Rhodes, of course, like I said, still has the knee injury. Darius Leonard's dealing with a back injury. Rivers, everyone in the NFL knows about his toe problem. And Trey Burton has a knee injury that he's dealing with. And Danico Autry, he's on the list, but it's just rest day. And same with Justin Houston. Going on to the Texans, guys. Let's see if we got anything. Good for him. Tough kid. Been nagging knee for a while now. Yes, he has been, Brian. He absolutely has. Going down to the Texans, I do not have. Let me change over because it's not showing the injury report on the Colts fully. So I'm hoping that the Houston Texans have this listed, and they don't have it listed either at a full. So guys that did not practice yesterday, CJ Prosise, the running back, ankle injury, did not practice yesterday. Duke Johnson, neck injury, probably will not be playing. He did not practice yesterday. And Froholt, the offensive guard, not injury related, did not practice, but was not injury related. David Johnson, he's not injured. He will be playing. Cornell Armstrong's dealing with a hamstring. He was limited on Thursday. Brandon Cooks dealing with that neck. He was limited. Philip Gaines has a knee injury. John Reed, the safety, has a neck injury. Boy, they got a lot of neck injuries. 1, 2, 3 neck injuries on this. And then Pharaoh Brown, their tight end, who's their third tight end. Anyhow, is dealing with a concussion. He had a full practice on Thursday, which means he'll probably be game ready on Sunday. So that is the injury report that we're looking out for right now. KCDC 1993. Thanks for joining the stream here on Sportscaster. Appreciate you being here. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel so you're notified next time I go live. So, what's up, Colts Nation? The Indianapolis Colts are facing 2 players this Sunday. Deshaun Watson, J.J. Watt. Duke Johnson could be another guy that you need to watch out for, but really it's Deshaun Watson and J.J. Watt. Those are the dangerous guys. I really think that the Colts, I mean, the last time we played them, we got to him 5 times. Could have had like 9 or 10 sacks that game. But we sacked him 5 of those times. And a ton of pressures, ton of hits. He's just Deshaun Watson is able to get out of trouble so well. Colts Nation says, I'm not scared of the Texans. I want to explain something to you. You need to be, because they're wanting to go out there and play spoilers in their own division, knock us out of the playoffs. Right? I mean, they want to knock us out of the playoffs. And if it wasn't for a couple calls offensively for Frank Reich and a couple lucky bounces, literally, like on the last drive, we could have lost that game. We could have. Now, granted, I hate the fact that everybody was running around saying, oh, the Colts won off of a stupid fumble recovery at the end of the game off a bot snap. There was still there was like a minute and a half left in the game. If they had scored a touchdown, I had full confidence that Phillip Rivers would have been able to march the field, 35 yards in a minute and a half to kick a field goal to win it. So I'm not too worried about that. I was not too worried about that at all. But Deshaun Watson is scary. Deshaun Watson is scary. And there's times when J.J. Watt, he'll disappear for a while, and then all of a sudden he'll come out in a game and just completely and utterly dominating. Right? We've seen him dominate against the Colts before with an Andrew Luck-led Colts, where he would sack and strip, force fumbles, and interception, pick sixes, all kinds. I mean, the Houston Texans have 3 interceptions as a team. One of those is by J.J. Watt this year, which was a pick 6. A pick 6. Correct. Ant Rodgers. Didn't the Texans win the division last year? Not the Titans. Absolutely they did. They won the division. And they darn near beat Kansas City in the playoffs if it wasn't for a second half meltdown. So, I mean, and this is basically the same team, except they don't have 2 people on their team. 2. Hopkins, which in the second half of the season has noticed, I don't see an issue with their passing game right now. Okay. Deshaun Watson looks pretty darn good with their pass. The guy that they're really, really missing is DJ Reader, the defensive tackle in the middle of that defensive line for them. He was their double. He was that guy that ate blocks and helped stop the run. And without him, their defense looks awful when it comes to stopping the run. So really, I mean, honestly, I feel like DJ Reader is a bigger loss to the Texans than what Hopkins was, because right now Deshaun Watson looks fine out there. He's throwing like crazy. Colts Nation asks, where is DJ Reader? Let me look that up real quick. I remember. Let me look. I'm pretty sure I knew where it was. Cincinnati Bengals. He's one of the only few good people that the Cincinnati Bengals has on their team right now, which is pretty sad. Ant Rodgers says, hey, I'd really like to see Jacob Eason. Is there any chance we get to see him this season? And I'm going to tell you, probably not. Probably not. And there's 2 reasons for that. All right. One, you got to understand Colts are in playoff mode now. They can't lose any games, right? So they're not just going to throw Eason in for no reason. They're not. It's not like back in the day when the Colts were like 15-0 with Peyton Manning, and they're like, screw it, we're going to rest everybody. We're not going to get a bye. All right. The best we could do is 12-4. And I don't see Kansas City losing out the next 3 games to tie us with 12-4. So I don't think that, that's going to happen. But What I can see is us getting into a big lead, right? Getting into a big lead. But the problem is, if you're in a big lead, most likely you're going to end up putting Jacoby Brissett in because he's your tried and true guy that you know can go out there and play football. You don't know what you have with Eason. So, and on top of that, the Colts are going to want to give Brissett every bit of whatever they can to him. If they can't re-sign him, they're going to allow him to put tape out if they have a chance so that other teams can look at him and maybe offer a contract. All right. That's the least the Indianapolis Colts could do for this guy. Okay. So I don't expect to see Jacob Eason this year at all. The only way I see Jacob Eason going in is if Phillip Rivers hurts himself real bad in one of these games, like let's say the Steelers game, Jacoby Brissett comes in and we go up by like 30 points in the fourth quarter, then we might see Jacob Eason come in. But other than that, I don't see something like it. Something would have to happen to Phillip Rivers for us to see Jacob Eason. So, oh, come on. Really? Look, I love Blankenship as well, but he's a rookie. Justin Tucker is like, he's going to be a Hall of Famer when he retires. Okay. Now, is it possible that Blankenship could make it that far? Yes. But you can't put Blankenship in with the same name as Justin Tucker. Okay. That's almost like putting him in with Adam Vinatieri. You can't put him in the same listings. All right. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. What's up? Comments on drugs. Appreciate you. What's going on here? That's a good question. It depends. Adam Vinatieri or Justin Tucker. Now, if you're talking about last year, obviously Justin Tucker. Adam Vinatieri in his prime. You give me Adam Vinatieri 10 years ago over Justin Tucker today. All right. That's my thought. My thought. Now, we're going to find out how Justin Tucker lasts over the season because Adam Vinatieri is clutch. He wasn't just a really good field goal kicker. He was clutch in important moments in games. I mean, he won 2 Super Bowls, for goodness sake, and got him the multiple Super Bowls. The teams that he was on, obviously being the Patriots and the Colts. So I got to give the edge to Adam Vinatieri. But, hey, Justin Tucker, though, the man could kick a 65-yard field goal. That's pretty impressive. I just got to see him win playoff games and get Super Bowls and stuff like that. Kind of the same way you kind of view, quarterbacks, right? In any other position. You need to win Super Bowls, and Justin Tucker just don't have the hardware for it yet. Just saying. Just saying. All right. Now, well, yeah, he did a Super Bowl. But really, it was the Ravens defense. But anyhow, so going into this game against the Texans, a couple thing worries. David Johnson scares me a little bit. All right. Now, I understand the Colts defense, their run D is solid, one of the best in the NFL. But David Johnson, when he's on, is one of the toughest running backs in the NFL to stop. The only problem is he doesn't have an offensive line in front of him. So, and the thing is, we can't completely send all of our front 7 to stop the run because we have to have a spy watching Deshaun Watson at all times. And it's probably one of the quicker linebackers, either Bobby Okereke or Darius Leonard, that'll be doing that. I mean, last time we played, we saw Anthony Walker watching him a few times. But we definitely got to have somebody out there spying Deshaun Watson, which means that's less people that's going to be crashing in to stop the run. I don't think DeForest Buckner will be out of this game. Just saying, I don't think DeForest Buckner will miss because, yeah, he was limited, but he's got a couple days to rest, and I think he'll be able to play. Even if he doesn't play, I don't think we're going to have an issue because we got. I mean, look, as long as Autry's going to be playing, and that's fine. Kimoko Ture is going to play. We're going to have everyone but Buckner. When we were missing Buckner, okay, and lost to the Titans, it wasn't just Buckner that we lost in that game. We didn't have Buckner, we didn't have Autry, we didn't have Okereke. Those are three big names that we lose, for this defense to help in the run game. So losing Buckner would hurt, but it wouldn't. Don't expect, the loss of one guy. I mean, remember, we didn't have Buckner on our team last year, and we still had a pretty darn good run defense without DeForest Buckner. I mean, I know you guys may not remember, 12 months ago, but we were a pretty darn good run defense last year. I mean, we were top 10, right? So, what up, Alpha Wolf? Thanks for being here, John Davis. Appreciate you. So, but if Buckner is, if all the Colts starting defense starts this game, I expect multiple turnovers. Because right now, let's take a look at the Texas depth chart. Because remember, they got guys right now that are still out. They were out when we played them. They're out still now. Because remember, Will Fuller is out on suspension and Bradley Roby is out on suspension, right? I mean, PEDs. So Brandon Cooks look like he's going to play. Duke is questionable, like I said. But Brandon Cooks, Kiki Kuti. Remember what Kiki Kuti, blah, 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 blah. Sorry. That is a tongue twister for a moment and a half. Kiki Kuti. Remember what he did to us 2 weeks ago? He blew us up, and I said, do not, sleep on Kiki, because I've seen where he has put up big games on us before, and when he's healthy, he can do it. That's why I'm worried about it. All right. Kiki is a good receiver out there. They do have a healthy offensive line right now. They've got Nick Martin in. They got Titus Howard. They got Laramie Tunzel. The only two guys really that are a little bit worrisome on their team is Max Sharping and Zach Fulton. But they're two tackles and their centers are nasty. All right, very good. If they can find a left guard, this will be a pretty good offensive line. But because their guards aren't that great, good interior pass rush from guys like Grover Stewart could make and break this game. Because we got to get inside pressure. Anyone see the Kansas City game? Anyone see that Kansas City game last week? That's what I want to see happen to Deshaun Watson. Where he's got a guy chasing him down on both sides, and all he did was run backwards for a 30-yard sack, right? That's what I want to see. That's what I want to see. I want to see good inside pressure off both guards and make him run backwards, not out, not towards the edge. Make him run back. Because as long as your edge guys, Autry, Houston, as long as they can hold that edge and keep him boxed in between the hashes, any pressure up the middle will force Deshaun Watson's hands. And I've seen it before, where Watson's done that. Oh, yes, by far. Brian says that was the worst play all year by Mahomes, and it absolutely was. Absolutely. Without any question. Now, offensively, for the Indianapolis Colts, I want to see more tight ends. our tight ends have kind of disappeared the last few games. I mean, you'll see like 4 or 5 catches from the tight ends, and that's it. We didn't really blitz Watson, did we? That's a good question. No, the Colts really did not, and they don't. They generally play a zone defense with 4 and then bring 4. And the reason they play zone defense is because he's a scrambling quarterback. That's all eyes, 11 pairs of eyes on the quarterback. So if he takes off, then the rest of the team knows how to go up there and get him. I want to see more tight ends. I want to see Mo Alley-Cox and Jack Doyle on the field a lot together. All right. For 2 reasons. I want to see them 2 guys. And I want to see either Pittman or Pascal as one of the wide receivers at all times. Fine. If you want to put T.Y. Hilton out there because, he loves the Houston Texans, and he'll take them out to eat, I don't care. That's fine. That's fine. But the reason why I want 2 tight ends and either Pascal or Pittman out on that field at all times is because with that combination, you got a really good run blocking system for whoever, whether it's Jonathan Taylor or Nyheim Hines, like what we saw against the Raiders. But you'll have a good pass catching combination as well for the play action on Phillip Rivers. And you know what else? I wouldn't mind seeing a little bit more plays like what we saw last week in Wildcat, only just remove Rivers off the field completely, right? No one expected on that touchdown run by Jonathan Taylor, no one expected Hines to fake it to Jonathan Taylor and then throw it out towards Phillip Rivers. There was not one single soul in all of America, Canada, Europe, Australia, wherever it is you're watching from, you were not expecting that to happen. And neither was the Houston Texans. So if you're going to do a Wildcat formation, just take Phillip Rivers off the field completely. That's my opinion on that. That's a good question. Here we got Colts Nation asking, do you think our offense is improving because we're facing bad defenses, or is it improving because we've improved? Let me tell you something, a little something, and I'm going to explain it. It's going to be very simple. They're improving because this team is starting to understand each other. Especially Phillip Rivers is beginning to understand. Phillip Rivers has now been here a while. He understands how the offensive line works. He understands how the wide receivers work. He's got some time with T.Y. Hilton. He's got time with the tight ends. Pascal, Pittman, all those guys. He's getting their timing down. He's getting to understand how they run their routes. That's why Phillip Rivers is doing better. Jonathan Taylor is doing better because the offensive line and himself are understanding each other. He knows how they block. He understands. They understand how he runs. So they know what to do for each other to make each other better and look good. So it was just a matter of time. There's too many new pieces when it comes to playmakers. Not necessarily the offensive line itself, but the playmakers, the quarterback, a wide receiver, the running back. That's 3 major playmakers on this offense that needed time to really just kind of meld with the rest of the team and understand what's going on. Yeah, I really wish that Ant Roger says he wishes that Paris Campbell was back to help run with that Wildcat. That'd be sweet, wouldn't it? Remember, we got next year, maybe the postseason. We'll see, right? Maybe the playoffs. And I don't care about the whole Jim Mora playoffs. We're going to the playoffs. I'm saying we sweep the next 3 games and make the playoffs 12-4. I called for 12-4 at the beginning of the year. All of you out there, I said 12-4. A lot of you before the season even started said, you're crazy, Lawrence. You're crazy. That's too high. And then in week 4, people were like, there's no way we're going 12-4 now. Our offense can't do nothing. And I stuck by it. I said, no, I think we can still be 12-4. I think the Colts, and this is sad. and I know a lot of Pittsburgh Steelers fans are going to take this as disrespect, and they should. Because I'm more scared of the Houston Texans this Sunday than I am the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think the Indianapolis Colts are going to destroy the Pittsburgh Steelers because their offense is awful. Their team can't catch worth a darn. Ben Roethlisberger don't throw past 20 yards. He does get rid of the ball quickly, but our team is good at jumping routes if all you're going to do is throw short. I mean, that's why one of the reasons why we're one of the best in the NFL at getting turnovers. And yes, you got a great, fast front seven. Whoop-de-freaking-do. We got an offensive line, plus Phillip Rivers gets rid of the football quick, too, when he needs to. And while you're at it, Jonathan Taylor can shake tackles. So, yeah, we got guys with speed where if you blitz us and we hit you with a screen behind the blitz, bye-bye. Bye-bye. The Pittsburgh Steelers, when they face the Colts, Steelers fans for the last 3 weeks have been giving me trash, saying there's no way the Colts could beat the Steelers. The Steelers will stomp them. I'm telling you. Now, I got a guy going to be on here next week to talk about the Steelers. This guy I respect a lot. Does a lot of good stuff out there. But we'll get to that when it comes to it. I'm sorry, I kind of went off on a tangent about the Steelers. I didn't expect to do that. But here's the thing. Ooh, Charm Brandon, what's up? Let's see what he's got to say here. Seeing how Josh Allen is playing, you think the Bills are going to give him a big payday? And what you do if you were the Bills management? I would give Josh Allen just about every bit of money that he wants. That's straight facts. In the offseason this past season, I don't know if you've seen any of my stuff, but Josh Allen, I said, look, he improved from his rookie year to his sophomore year. I mean, he made a massive jump from his rookie to his sophomore year, and I said, you know what? If he does it again, he's gonna be a really good quarterback. Guess what? He jumped. And it was a massive jump. And he's a top 5 quarterback right now in the NFL. Top 5. You just said that last year, you'd have been laughed at. But I said, look, if he can make that kind of a jump from his rookie to a sophomore, what's stopping him from making that jump from sophomore to his third year? Nothing. And then they went off and got him Diggs. The man's just out there lighting it up. You pay that dude. You pay that dude, and you pay him whatever he wants. So, when it comes to Houston, yes, I want to see 2 tight end formations a lot, either Zach Pascal or Michael Pittman on one side, T.Y. Hilton on the other. You know what? If T.Y. has to walk off the field so you could have Pascal and Pittman on the field at the same time with 2 tight ends and Jonathan Taylor or Nyheim Hines, that's fine as well. And then let Phillip Rivers read the defense. He's got 17 years of experience reading defense. Let him decide, do I hand the football off or do I fake it and throw it? Let him make the decision out there on the field because I think he's making really, really good decisions right now. Incredibly good decisions. You realize Phillip Rivers right now in the last 7 games has one of the highest quarterback ratings in football. One of the highest in all of the NFL over the last, 8 games. Over the last 8 games. I mean, my goodness. Because, I mean, if you look, all right, let me read this here. Last week, he had a 118.7 quarterback or passer rating. Against Houston, he had a 119.3 passer rating. Tennessee was not good. It was an 85 passer rating. But then you go to Green Bay, 107.2. And then you go to Tennessee again, 105.5. And then, of course, Baltimore. You remember Baltimore? That was kind of bad, 62. His worst game of the year. And then go look at Detroit, 123 and then 105. He's got seven of the last 9 games that he has played is over a 105 or higher passer rating. So yes. And do I trust him when he gets to the postseason? Absolutely. And the only reason why I say that is because the Colts are good all the way around. The Chargers have never had a team like what the Colts are right now. Okay. The Colts have got an offensive line to protect him. They got weapons on offense that he can throw to, and they have a defense. The Colts have a defense that can take over a game if needed. Not to even mention they got a top 5 special teams. The Colts do. So yes, I trust Phillip Rivers because I don't think that we change anything going from regular season to the postseason. And if you think that we're going to go get Carson Wentz, no, dude, we're not. Give me Sam Darnold or Bradford or Sam Darnold. Yeah. Sam Darnold or Stafford. If we're going to go after a replacement quarterback this offseason, I'll take Sam Darnold or Matt Stafford. And that's the only guys that I think that I would go to. Because quite frankly, Sam Darnold is one of those guys. I really, truly, and honestly believe that the Jets are just that bad of a team. And if they go out and they get Trevor Lawrence, he's going to come in. He's going to look just as bad as Sam Darnold because the Jets have no offensive line. They have no weapons to pass to. And their best running back is Frank Gore, who is 105. Yes, he's out there trying really hard. And I love Frank Gore. But if he's your best running back, at his age, at this point in time, with no offensive line, you're in deep trouble. And if we had Stafford, we'd be set for the next 10 years. Yes, he's 30 years old, but I mean, at least 6 more years of prime Stafford, I'd be happy with. I don't know about Ryan, though, because Matt Ryan, Alpha, that's a good thing. I get why you like Matt Ryan. But he's used to having a lot of good. I mean, he's had Julio like the whole time, right? And then you got Calvin Ridley, and before Ridley, you had Sanu, right? He's used to having big prime targets. The Colts don't really have big prime targets yet. Now, could Pittman and Campbell turn into big prime targets? Absolutely. But as of right now, we have a bunch of tier 2 and tier 3 wide receivers, which is good. That means we don't have a whole bunch of tier 4s, but we don't have 1 or 2 tier 1 receivers yet. Not right now. Oh, I like T.Y. But he's a little slower than what he used to be. And that kind of knocks him out of that big play thing that he has. But I love the fact that he's healthy and he's playing a lot better than what he was earlier in the season. And that has a lot to do, like I said, with Phillip Rivers learning T.Y. Hilton. But I don't think most generally small receivers don't have long careers. And I don't expect T.Y. to be like really, really good in 2 or 3 years. Okay. I love T.Y. Hilton. I'm a Colts fan. How can I not love T.Y. Hilton? But reasonable expectations. Small receivers, small, fast receivers generally kind of fall off in the early 30s. And he's already 30. So I'm just going by what I'm used to seeing. But could he help the Colts this year get to the Super Bowl? Yeah. And I'd love to see it. Love to see it. As a matter of fact, you know who I'd like the Colts to face? Wouldn't that be great if the Colts played Pittsburgh Steelers, beat them, went 12-4, But the problem is that they went 12-4, and then the Steelers ended up being 12-4. We would end up facing probably the Miami Dolphins in the wild card round, because we would probably be ahead of our division and probably the 3rd seed. Because I don't expect the Titans to beat Green Bay. I don't. I like the Titans. I think the Titans are a really good offensive team, but their defense is not going to be able to handle Aaron Rodgers in that offense. I think that's a game where the Titans would have to run the football 35 times to win that game in order to keep Aaron Rodgers off that field, because Aaron Rodgers will do whatever he darn well pleases against that Tennessee defense. So, guys, I think Ty will retire as a Colt. I think that he realizes where he's at in his career, and he'll probably sign an extension at the end of this season. And it probably won't be that $12 to $14 million that he's got in the last contract. He knows where he's at in his career. He'll probably sign somewhere between $9 and $11 million a year, which I'm okay with giving him. I just don't want to give him that 12 to 14 million range like what he got on his last contract, because quite frankly, he hasn't played like that the last 2 or 3 years. FaZe, what's up? Of course I'm streaming. It's Friday, 5 p.m. Well, it's a little after 5 p.m., but you know I'm here Friday at 5 p.m. 0194D, we need to sign Rodgers. We don't need to, but if it happens, my guy, holy crap. The Colts would be favored to win the Super Bowl. It'd be the Colts and the Chiefs would be the 2 favorite teams to win the Super Bowl year after year after year if the Colts somehow finally was able to get Rodgers. But there's no way we're getting Rodgers, because Green Bay cannot get rid of Rodgers due to contract issues. It's like $50 million, dude, is what their dead cap would be. No, they're not getting rid of him. So, but yeah, I mean, having Rodgers would be an absolute amazing situation, right? Holy crap. Honestly, I think Matt Stafford on the Colts would be pretty darn good too, because Stafford has never in his life been behind an offensive line, and you've seen what he's done, and he's in his prime. And I have a ton of respect for Matt Stafford. Ever since he played that game, I can't remember who it was, Green Bay, I think. I don't know, where he threw the touchdown after he dislocated his shoulder and he came back in and threw the game-winning touchdown. Yeah, I'll take Stafford without any question. None. And there's rumors going around that the Lions might move on from Stafford. So there you go. Well, guys, I've been running this for about 48 minutes and my throat's getting sore. I'm starting to get hungry, and I loved this stream. You guys are awesome. Please don't forget to smash that like button, hit subscribe, go down there to that share over here and click the share it to your favorite social media. Help me get to 1K subs. Please. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate all of you. Once I get to that 1K, I'd be, like I said, the road to 1K is the hardest, and I'm slowly but surely getting there. And it's because of people like you being here with me. Thanks, John Davis. I appreciate that. Appreciate that a lot. Ant Rogers says, hey, can you do a film breakdown on Julian Blackmon? That is awesome idea, and that's a good possibility. All you guys out here watching this, whether you're watching it now, watching it later, or listening to it on my podcast on Spotify or wherever you're listening to it, go to the YouTube, go to the comment section, find this stream, and in the comments, tell me who you want me to do the film breakdown for. Ant Rogers says Julian Blackmon. That sounds great. Colts Nation saying, hey, what about Braden Smith? That's another good idea. Why don't you guys drop that in the comment section after the stream is over? I'd appreciate it a lot. That way I can, I'll also drop it on my Twitter account later today, asking and you guys can make comments. You can find me at Colts_law. It's also in the description down in the below the stream. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you didn't notice, I had a stream talking about who's hot, who's not in the NFL right now. As you know, I cover more than just Indianapolis Colts. I cover the entire NFL, and I just dropped mine for the AFC. Every team in the AFC, covered the entire AFC. Took me over an hour to do it, but I had a lot of fun doing that. Next Thursday, I'm going to do the NFC side of things. All right, so my prediction for the Texans-Colts game, I think the Colts are going to win this one, and it's not going to be as close as it was last time, because it's going to be at Lucas Oil Stadium, and the Colts, I don't know, they've been playing pretty good at Lucas Oil, and I see them beating them up pretty bad. I see Jonathan Taylor having another 100-yard game. He might not hit 150, but I see him having a 100-yard game. And I see Phillip Rivers having a good game, but I still see Deshaun Watson having an okay game as well. 31-24 is my score. Indianapolis Colts over the Houston Texans this Sunday. So, here we go. 31-14, quit copying me. Adam Rank says, Alpha Wolf says, Adam Rank says 35-23. Well, that's pretty close to what I got. I got 31-24, so that ain't bad. Pretty good. 31-17 is Brian Ant Rogers, 28-10. And then, as I said earlier, 31-14 with these guys. Colts Nation and FaZe. So, yeah. That's what I got. I appreciate everybody being here. Don't forget to leave the comment on who you'd like to see for this upcoming film room breakdown. I love the perimeter breakdown that I broke down last week as well. I think it did very well. It's got over 1,000 views already, so thanks, guys. And until next time, I'm Lawrence Owen. Well, no, I don't think it does have 1,000 views. It's the other one, the one-handed interception has over 1,000 views. Okay. I got to put Kimberly Bray in here because she last moment 44-18. Kimberly, is that Colts winning or is that Texans? I got to ask. I got to make sure. All right. Just saying. 3 sacks on the day. Phillips gets 3 touchdowns. Kimberly says, go Colts. So I'm assuming the Colts, she expects the Colts to score 44. But awesome. Hey, you know what? We go back-to-back weeks scoring 44 points. I'm not going to argue. That'd be great, wouldn't it? Go Colts. Thanks, everybody, for being here. Again, subscribe, share, like. And I'm Lawrence Owen, Colts Law. Have a good one.